Okay, so today what we're learning about is, we learned about how to do elimination last week, but today we're continuing with elimination where when we have to multiply first to get it going, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples and I'm going to show you why we can't do exactly what we did before. We have to kind of tweak the beginning. We have to do like an extra step in the beginning to make it so that our two equations that one of the variables will eliminate, okay? So here's the first example. Okay, go ahead and take a second to copy that down. All right, so when you're looking at this one, do I have like either my x's or my y's where if I put them together they're going to cancel out? No, okay? This one is like saying 4 minus 1. This one's saying 2 plus 8, right? If I put together this column, it's going to make 3 x's, right? If I put together this column, it's going to make 10 y's. So right now, nothing's going to cancel out. Even if I change the sign, like to a change the sign on the whole bottom row, is that going to make anything cancel? No, okay? So what I was doing before isn't going to work, okay? But what I can do is instead of multiplying by, for example, a negative to change things, what I can do is I can take this whole bottom row and multiply it by a number. Okay? Now, what number could I possibly multiply this whole bottom row by so that maybe the x's would eliminate? Well, what number, if it were here, would then eliminate with the 4 up there? Yeah, if this were a negative 4 instead of a negative 1, it would then eliminate with the 1 above it, right? So what I'm going to do is instead of multiplying it by just a negative 1, I'm going to multiply it by a number instead. And the number I'm going to choose to multiply all the parts by is positive 4, because then this would become a negative 4 right here. Is that making sense what I'm doing? Okay, now I'm going to rewrite. Okay, so the top one's going to stay the same. That's not going to change. That's going to be 4x plus 2y equals negative 2. Okay, but what happens when I multiply all the parts on the bottom by 4? Well, doesn't this become a negative 4x? And doesn't this become what? What's 8 times 4? 32. Okay. And then what's 4 times 26? Maybe some of you guys need to get out your calculators for that. What is it? 104? Okay, so now that I've multiplied that whole bottom row by 4, I see that my x's in my columns are going to go ahead and eliminate, right? 4 minus 4 makes 0. Okay, so now I'm going to put together these. What's 2 plus 32? 34 y's, right? Okay, now, what's negative 2 plus 104? Yeah, positive 102, right? Okay, so now what's my last step in solving this for y? Divide by 34. Now maybe some of you need to get your calculators out, but what does that make? Is it 3? Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and I've found the y value, I can take this y value and I can plug it in here, or I can plug it in here to any of the equations I want. Okay, which one do you think is the easiest one to plug it into? Personally, the top for me. That's what I think, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take the top, 4x plus 2 times, and I'm going to take that y value and put it in instead of the y right there. So 2 times 3 equals negative 2. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my multiplication that I have here. So I get 4x plus 6 equals negative 2. And now I just need to start solving this, right? So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. That gives me 4x equals negative 8. And the last step would be what? Yeah, divide by 4, right? So what do I get for my value of x here? Yeah. Okay, so what is my final answer here? Negative 2, comma what? 3. Okay? All right, are there questions on how we did that one? Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at a second example. Okay, so go ahead and write that one down. Okay, so when I look at this one, are the x's going to eliminate the way they are right now? What about the y's? No, right? So, here's the thing is, which ones do you guys want to make the same? Yeah, the x, right? Because it's easy to make this one into the opposite of this one. It's easy to make 7 into the opposite of 14. Because what do I have to multiply 7 by to make 7 into negative 14? Yeah, now what kind of 2? Yeah, if I just multiply it by regular 2, it's not going to change. So I'm going to multiply it by negative 2. Because negative 2 times 7 would give me negative 14, and then those would cancel, right? So I'm going to change the top one, and I'm going to rewrite it, okay? So I want you guys to rewrite this after multiplying all the parts by negative 2. So you should get negative 14x, positive 4y, and positive 22. Okay, now the bottom one's going to stay the same. Okay, and now I'll go ahead and draw my columns. Now my x's are going to eliminate. What's 4 minus 9? Yeah, what kind of 5?
Negative.
Yeah, negative 5y. Okay, 22 plus 3.
25.
Now, we're going to finish solving for y. So what do I get when I solve for y? Yeah, negative 5, right? Okay. So now, which one do you guys want to plug this back into? The top one? Okay. So, we're going to get 7x minus, this is going in the spot for y, so minus 2 times negative 5 equals negative 11. Okay, now what you guys need to do is you guys need to solve this for x. So go ahead and do your multiplication there. Okay, what's the next step? Subtract 10. What's negative 11 minus 10? Do not say 1. Do not say negative 1. Negative 21. Okay, and then last divide by 7. So what's your final answer for x? Yeah, negative 3. So now you can write your final ordered pair, which is what? Negative 3, negative 5. Okay? Okay, so how's that feeling so far? Okay, I want to have you guys do one more example in your notes that's a little bit more difficult than both of these. Okay? Now, in both of these, we could just take either the top or the bottom and multiply it by something, and then it was going to cancel with the other equation, right? Okay, I want you guys to take a look at this next example. Okay, so in this next example, can I just like multiply the 3 by something and turn it into 5? Or multiply 5 by something to turn it into 3? No, right? Same thing here. Can I turn 6 into 4 or can I turn 4 into 6 by multiplication? No, right? Okay, so here's what I have to do then. I have to choose, do I want to eliminate the x's or do I want to eliminate the y's? And what common number can I change them both into? Okay, so which one do you guys want to eliminate, the x's or the y's? The x's? Okay, so what is the smallest number that both of these can turn into through multiplication? They can both turn into 15, right? So what do I have to multiply each of them by to turn them into 15? Well, I have to multiply this one by 3, right? So I'm going to multiply the top row by 3. That's going to turn this into negative 15. Now, if I want to turn this one into the opposite, this one needs to turn into positive 15. So what do I need to multiply the bottom one by to turn it into positive 15? Okay. Now, should I multiply it by a negative or a positive? Positive, okay? If I multiply it by a negative, then it's going to be the same sign and it's not going to cancel. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to multiply it by a positive 5. Now, let's go ahead and rewrite both of these equations. So, here's what we get. Negative 15x. Now you need to do 3 times everything else. Negative 12y. And what's 3 times 14?
42.
What is it? 42? Is that what you guys said? Okay. All right. Now on the bottom, what's 5 times 3? 15. Okay, 5 times negative 6, negative 30y. And 5 times 0 is 0. Okay. Now that you've gone ahead and done that multiplication, now we can draw our columns. We can see what happens here when we put them together. Okay, so these 15s cancel. What do we get when we do negative 12 minus 30, or negative 12 and negative 30? Yeah, negative 42 equals, what's 42 plus 0? 42. Okay, now what are you going to do to solve here? Divide. Okay, so what do we get? Y equals what? -1. Okay, now we're going to take that and plug it back into whichever one of these I think is easier to deal with. Which one do you guys want me to plug it into? The top or the bottom? I hear mixed reviews. I'm just going to go with bottom since we always plug it into the top. Okay, so 3x minus 6 times -1 equals 0. Now we're going to solve that. So do your multiplication right here. That gives you +6. Okay, what's your next step? Subtract 6. Good. Okay, and then what? Divide. Okay, what do we get for x? -2. So what's our ordered pair? Yeah. Okay. So does that kind of make sense what we did right there? Okay. Are there questions on what we did here today on this? Okay. All right. Here's what I'm going to do right now. Are you guys done copying this down? You need more time? Okay. Okay, so next what I want to put up here are your homework problems. Okay, so you can take a picture of them. So everyone get out your phone. Okay, you have 10 total. These are the first 6. Okay. All right, so you need to take a picture of these, and then there's going to be 4 more. Okay. It will be posted on School Loop, yes. But take a picture just in case you get home and School Loop's not, I don't know, you can't get onto School Loop or whatever. Okay. Does anyone need more time for the first 6? All right. Okay, here's the last problems. So if you didn't get 7, 8, 9, 10, you need to take a picture of those. Are you going home, Hunter?